Oh, hi, it's Pie. Welcome back to Let's Play Katawa Shoujo. Hopefully, my mic decides to work because this is attempt 3 and my mic is crapping out for some odd reason. But, anyways, we last left off on a branching path here for Hanako, and this is the big choice here. If for one of these choices, it will lead you to the bad ending, and one choice will lead you to either good or neutral endings. I also said last time I was gonna get my friend John here, but unfortunately he is under the weather, and I wish him well soon. Um, and Pen Ending has told me that I should shoot for the bad ending first, and then end the routes with a neutral and good ending. So yeah, it does make sense. We want to end on a good note, so and we did that both times. Well, actually, not quite with Lily's son, because neutral was she left and we never saw her again. But good ending, we ended up with her. So yeah. So we're gonna shoot for the band ending first, which the choice is. What do you think, Hanako? This will give us to help out to count these two here. But once you pick this, no matter what you do afterwards, it will give you the bad ending. So shit. I really don't. I like to go for good endings, but yeah, I did say I was gonna showcase as much as I can. What do you say, Hanako? If we help, it shouldn't take long at all. Hanako's fidgeting answers my question before she can even form the words. I really need to go. Well, that was to be expected. Looks like it's just me and the council girls again. It's easy to resign myself to another afternoon of work in a small council office. I'll catch up with you later, okay? Okay. Right, now that the farewells are over, it's work time. And I'm meeting with this damn ugly picture. Misha and Shizune frog marched me to the student council office, never once letting go of my shoulders. I feel a little bad for ditching Hanako like this, but if this is the price of getting Misha off her back, so be it. So, then what are we up to today? Debrief! Huh? Isn't that supposed to happen after or something? Yep, we have to collate all of the information from the festival so that Shi-chan can debrief the teachers. Shizune drops a large pile of paperwork on the desk in front of me and smiles sincerely. I can't pronounce that word. Fuck. You need to sort those out into two piles. One for financial stuff like receipts, and one for feedback. One for positive feedback, and maybe for things that look like they could be problems next year. One of the problems that probably won't be able to fix. That's a few more than two piles. Huh? Alright. Yeah, I thought it would be only two piles. My bad. Right. While I'm doing this, what will you two be doing? Well, we missed lunch because we were collecting all of these reports, so we're going to get some food. Why didn't you just sort them out when you were collecting them? Thankfully, my self-defense mechanism kicks in and prevents me from opening my mouth and furthering worsening my situation. Eh? How is that fair? Mumbles. I forgot I did that. I was fretting over the unfair distribution of work so much that I didn't notice that Shizune and I had kept on signing. If it weren't for Misha's outburst, I probably wouldn't have noticed at all. Shizune seems to be delivering a fairly long string of commands to Misha, and none of them look pleasant. Reaching a conclusion, Misha signs briefly back to Shizune and sits down at the desk next to me. Shizune waves to both of us before disappearing out the door. What was that all about? Shi-chan was worried that you will get the wrong idea. Oh, Shi-chan was worried that you'll get it all wrong unless you were supervised. And since she can't tell you how you are messing things up, she's making me stay. Ah, bummer. I just wanted to go with Shi-chan. But she's going to bring us back some food. How good is that? Misha's flippancy is out of this world. From down on the dumps to on top of the world over some calories. It's hard to imagine how anyone could operate at that level. Well, it could have been worse. So, what are we supposed to be doing? Collation. I gather that. Well, let's just start making piles. We'll work out what the piles mean later. Right. We start to separate all the papers into increasingly complex piles. At first, it's just the simple categories financial, feedback, incident reports, and then they split apart into the good and bad reports, and further still, until it starts to look like we've just thrown the papers onto the desk. This is hopeless. Huh? Why? We're doing what we're told, right? Yes, but it looks like we're just making a mess. No, I think we got a lot done. Shichen will be able to work out from the rest here. So I think we can stop about here then. It's almost as if Misha's common sense left the room with Shizune. Still, there's no point in arguing. Anyway, what's with the deal with you and Hanako? Deal? You were hanging out with her today, weren't you? Have there been any fireworks? Any gossip that you're withholding from me? If I told you about my own circumstances, it wouldn't be gossip, would it? I guess not. We're just friends, I guess. Why are you so interested? I thought you and Shizune didn't like her. It's not really like that. You know Shichen and Lily don't get along very well. And since you can't really get Hanako away from Lily, we don't talk to her much. But that doesn't mean I can't be concerned for her. What is there to be concerned about? Well, she never hangs out with anyone else, right? It's no good, Hichan. If Shizune and Lily dislike each other because their personalities are different, then I hate to think how Misha and Hanako would get along. I mean, in one way or another, we're all in the same boat here, right? Well, I guess. This one time when she left class halfway through, Shichen went to the teacher and asked him what was going to be done about it. She said that every student here has special needs and that Shichen shouldn't worry herself about it. Hanako never does any group work, she just runs off. Isn't that enough to be concerned about? I guess you're right. She still hardly says a word when we're talking. Well, that's more than I've been able to do. Shichen and Bofai tried when she started, but she got scared and ran off. I consider telling Misha that exactly the same thing happened with me, but she seems to be caught up in thought. Listening to Misha's without Shizune's influence is interesting. I think she needs to realize that people here don't care for what she looks like, and that she can trust us. If she could, I feel a lot better about her. I think this is the longest I've watched Misha without seeing her sign. When she's with Suzune, she is constantly waving her hands about, explaining this world to Shizune. That amount of effort probably places a strain even on an agile mind. And let's face it, Misha isn't the world's brightest spark. Well, I'll keep an eye on her for you. But you should probably apologize for earlier. I don't think Hanako is cut out for that kind of joke. Oh, I didn't even notice. Sorry. Don't say it to me, just mention it to her. Alright, first thing tomorrow, I'll speak to her. Good. A cacophony from the door heralds the return of Shizune. I guess she can't really tell how much noise she is making. Oh, Shi-chan, you're back! Shizune appears, completely laden with goods from the convenience store. There was some surplus left from the festival. Since this is officially festival business, I've splurged a little. Nice idea, Shi-chan. 10 points. Is that really allowed? For someone who refuses to join us, you seem to take an unhealthy interest in the politics of this council. I shall punish your insolence by rationing your portion of the feast. Fine, fine. I get it. Misha slides the multiple stacks of paper to one side to make room for the avalanche of food Shizune is spreading out. As I watch my hard yet misdirected work become wasted, I realize that it's little wonder why these two need help. The convenience store meal isn't overly tasted, but at the very least, it's filling. Thanks for helping today. Most of the time, we just make up the reports for the staff. This year, we can at least make up some relevant headings on the debris. Are you sure this isn't a corrupt organization? Not at all, not at all. We're by the book. It's not our fault that the book isn't specific enough. I thought that was the definition of corruption. You think too much. You know what? You're probably right. Anyway, I must be off. That is, if I'm allowed to leave. Your work has been deemed sufficient. You may leave. Well, thank you. You know, if you stress the free meal side of things over the endless workload side, you'll probably end up with more recruits. You might have just have a point. Well, think about it. And think about what we talked about. You don't have to tell that to Shizune if you don't want. What? Oh, right. I'll try to see her tomorrow. Good night, Hichan. Night, Misha. Shizune. I wait a minute. I'm sorry, guys. Then I know it's like she freaking Shizune's voice. I go just dot dot dot. Unless you want me to constantly say dot dot dot, I just do that. But it makes me chuckle a bit a few times. Chirping birds. Normally, this would be a good time to reflect upon the beauty of nature, but it is 6 a.m. Covering my head with the pillow, I slam my face into the mattress, hoping that the impact will send me instantly back to sleep. Futile. I toss and turn, but sleep simply won't return to me. Alright, nature, you won. See? I'm getting up now. The lack of sleep weighs my mind down, and there's only one remedy for this: a nice, hearty breakfast. It would be nice to be the first person here, to be the first to dig into a piping hot pile of food, to sit whatever I desire. It would have been nice, but even my exceptionally early start has put me behind the most diligent students. I guess there are quite a few people that have early starts here, for one reason or another. A group of students in sports clothes huddle around one table, eagerly discussing game plans in between inhaling great gulps of food. Scattered around the hall are a number of bleary eyed students, probably suffering from the same ailment as myself. Noisy birds. And of course, there are the people that actually enjoy getting up this early, the ones with their bags stuffed with textbooks and completed homework. It's hard not to despise people like that, even more so when you're tired yourself. Picking out a familiar face from the thin crowd, I head towards the nearest table. Lily sits alone, delicately feeling her way around a small plate of eggs with a fork. It's almost a shame to interrupt her in her clockwork movements. I wonder, is this how a blind person zones out, simply moving in predetermined patterns learned over the years, just like how a sighted person would eat while reading a newspaper? Good morning, Lily. I didn't expect you to be here this early. Oh, Hisao, you startled me. I didn't know you took breakfast this early. I don't. This is an exception to the rule. I greatly prefer to be late to school than early to breakfast. Lily gives a small sigh at my admitted tardiness as I begin eating my food. It doesn't take long for her to lapse back into her previous mindless nibbing. Each short motion lacks energy. I suppose this is similar to letting your eyes wander while performing any ordinary chore. But after a few repetitions of the find food, eat food cycle, Lily fork puts down her fork and dabs her lips with a napkin. Hisao, do you mind if I ask you a question? Oh shit. Music stopped. Damn. All I want is a little food and about 4 hours of sleep. And nobody says, "Can I ask you a question?" For a simple question. Sure. Do you think of Hanako as a friend? Huh? This seems like a leading question. I guess so? Why do you ask? No real reason. I do have another question though. Why is it that you think of her as a friend? Oh, this is well above my level. What is she expecting from me? I'm not really sure. I guess it's because she's a little different in the way she deals with people. Hmm. Since I've known her, she hasn't really connected with anyone. She doesn't seem interested in other people, and I think people are a little scared off by her appearance. Really? I thought that was kind of. I really thought that kind of thing was, well, discouraged here, discriminating and such. Hmm. If I were to put it in one way. She furrows her brow in thought, a move which makes me slightly anxious as to what she's plucking from her mind. I say that you're a little naive. Naive? I'd be insulted if not for the slightly cynical grin on her face. I see. While Yamaku has a stronger sense of community compared to other schools, it's far from being free of conflict. Rules cannot remove human nature, after all, only suppress it. That's something I've noticed, actually. Just little things, like how certain people in cliches are avoid each other in the hallways. Sorry, I stalled there. There's no it's no different than my old school, really. Even Lily and Shizune could be considered bitter rivals, even though they both seem like fairly accepting people. Well, at least the Misha tinted Shizune does. Who knows what actually goes on with her fingers and behind her glasses? I guess you're right. But when I first came here, everything was a bit of a shock. I kept on making mistakes, or at least thinking I was making mistakes. Like when we first met. I said, I see to you. I didn't know if that was considered rude or anything, so I tried to put it in the back of my mind. Treating people any differently and that kind of thing. So I didn't. I told myself that Hanako and you and everyone else was just normal, and I tried to ignore the obvious. I talked to Hanako as if she were any other person, and so we became friends. Well, at least that's how I think it happened. But I feel guilty just from saying something like that aloud, as if it took extra effort to think of Hanako, or you, or anyone here as normal people. I don't think that's right. Hisao, I think you are naive, but I also think that you are a good person. It is perhaps one of your better traits. I suppose I could take that as a compliment. Tell me, are you free tonight? If you don't count homework, then I'm free as the breeze. In that case, would you care to join myself and Hanako for tea? I don't really have that much money at the moment, so going out isn't really. Oh, I don't mean going out, just here, this evening. You can access the classrooms in the evening here? No, that's not what I meant. Hanako and I often use my room for tea parties together. Please feel free to drop by after dusk. Sure, I see no problem with that. What's your room number? 225. Room 25 on the second. Room 25 on the second floor. Why I say 25? Okay, sure. Well then, I best be off. I have class representative duties to attend to, after all. Until this evening, Hisao. Yeah, catch you later. Hang on. Was I just invited to a girl's room after hours? Is that even allowed? There is a curfew here, but I've never heard any rules about visitors in the dorm rooms. Even still, this is odd enough to get my sleep-deprived brain jump-started. Add that to the lukewarm breakfast, and you have one hell of a pick-me-up. I grudgingly go to class, still a little excited at the prospect of breaking the rules. I feel like a little, I feel like a little kid, yeah, planning to sneak out of his window at night. Well, maybe that's going a little too far. But when you compare an invitation to a party to 6 or so hours of lectures, I know which one wins. Misha and Zuzune do a little to relieve my boredom either. For once, they seem determined to actually complete Mito's assignments. Nevertheless, the day eventually winds to a close. I hurry back to my room to wash up and comb my hair. Thankfully, I don't run into Kenji. Before long, I am leaving the boys' dorm. I nervously rap on the door marked 225, checking my watch once again. Is that you, Isao? The door is open. You can come in. Lily's voice slips through the door and soothes my nerves. This is the first time I've been invited to a girl's room after dark. Even though I know there is no ulterior motive behind this invitation, it doesn't stop my mind running wild with possibilities. Ooh, possibilities. One guy, two girls, and a dorm room with a tea set. When I put it like that, it sounds a little dodgy. Giving a small sigh to steady myself, I gingerly put my hand on the handle and opened the door, craning my head to see inside. Uh, we've seen this. We've seen this setting before, and just beautiful Lily's legs and cute little Hanako over there. The door opens completely as I catch my first glimpse of Lily's room. Her furniture almost looks antique, but the bare walls and flat surfaces are barely decorated at all. In the center of the room sits a low table, where I see a small tea set at rest. It seems like that everything in this room has its place, possibly excepting the several piles of books stacked up against the wall. My sense of vision isn't the only one that to be stimulated. The faint smell of something can be picked up on the air. Nail polish, perfume, makeup. It's hard to describe it any way other than girly. My eyes finish their quick sweep of the room before returning their position onto the girls. Lily sits next to the small table wearing very dark blue pajamas. Dark blue vaginas. With shorts that show off plenty of her alluring pale legs. Mmm. 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 This is. I like this music track too. Okay, and I want. And opposite her, Hanako sits adorned in a conservative light pink gown. Her hands are firmly fixed between her legs, her shoulders forward, and her head down as if trying to hide herself in it. It would be easy for her to do her. I mean, it would be easy for her to do, but it looks about two sizes too big for her. Not that I'm complaining. Waves of flannel flow from her frame, making her look like a child playing dress up in her parents' clothes. She looks up to confirm my identity, and the beginnings of a thin smile creep across her face and mine's, but hiddenly, before vanishing so fast that I can't be sure that they were there. There's no point in you standing in the doorway, Sal. Don't just stare at us, eat us. Sorry. I take a step into the room, closing the door behind me. My, I'm afraid this is a small room for the three of us. Would you like to take a seat? Why did you have a seat over there? I slowly walk to the table and sit down, trying my hardest not to disturb anything along the way. I'm just having too much fun over here. I also can't help but steal a quick glance into Lily's top as I sit. Yeah, who wouldn't? It's not like she can catch you in the act. To be robbed of a sight would be the most terrible thing. But then again, Hanako is here, so she probably might catch me doing that. But Lily, you can stare as long as you want. She can't notice. Well, now, how about some tea, Hanako? What could you please pour? Sure, he so would you would you like? I would love some tea. Do you need a hand? No, I'm fine. Thank you. Lily finds it difficult to resist a smile that conveys nervousness, something I can't really blame her for. Been a tiring day? Yeah. I relaxed in my place, opposite of the cabinet. To my left is the blue-clad Lily, and to my right sits the pink Hanako. The tea set on the table looks cute as well as practical, painted red with a floral motif. It looks odd when contrasted with Lily's plain but generally sophisticated-looking furniture, which leads me to think that Hanako might have picked it out. There is a slight ting when Hanako accidentally clips the teapot on the cup as she is pouring. She breathes in sharply. She must be really nervous, as it's not the kind of thing anyone would worry about. Hanako quivers at her mistake. It's okay. Oh, it's okay, Hanako. There's no need to be nervous. Hanako seems to find some confidence in Lily's reassuringly soft-spoken words, and deftly pours the next two cups. Here you are, Isao, Lily. Hanako carefully places a cup and saucer in front of Lily and myself. I could get used to service like this. Thank you, Hanako. Yeah, thanks. You're welcome. Lily searches for her cup. Upon finding it, she sips delicately. I do the same. This tea tastes somewhat better than the tea that we usually have at school. This is nice. It's so different from any tea I've had before. Looks like you picked the right one, Hanako. You've done well, even if it was a bold move. Hanako's smile returns, redoubled. Even with her blighted face, her shy smile couldn't be called anything but cute. I'm glad you like it. Hanako, finally beginning to relax, sips from her cup. I think back to my chat with Misha the other day. Is Hanako's behavior something to be concerned about? Or is she just shy? And there was and then there was Lily earlier this morning. The concern for both of them seemed to be genuine, and they know the situation better than I. But really, how could I possibly help? I'm no plastic surgeon, so I can't really help her appearance, nor am I a psychologist who can make her more sociable. So what the hell do Lily and Misha want me to do? It's frustrating. Hanako and I are quickly becoming friends on our own accord, and because of that, it's like everyone wants me to solve all her problems, and I have idea how to do that. No one can cure my heart, nor Lily's eyes, nor anyone who is here in this school. However, I see no harm in becoming better friends with Hanako. Now that she's warming up to me, I kind of enjoy hanging out with her. So, Isao, are you enjoying yourself? Lily's words break me out of my reverie as I take a second to reconsider where I am. I'm in a room with two girls in their bedclothes. This is something to be enjoyed. Yes, treasure this moment. You got the right mind, Isao. Yeah, it's relaxing. Almost like I'm not in the school anymore. Do you do this often? Quite often, but not as often as we take tea in the school building. Considering they do that nearly every day, that's not a big surprise. As I move to take another sip from my teacup, I find it sadly empty. That was delicious. Thank you, Hanako. Lily. You're welcome. Yes, you are most welcome, Hisao. It's nice to have a third person here. Well, anytime you need someone to fill that position, I'm always available. Always. One must be sure to get one's point across in these circumstances. Lily lets loose a yawn when she unsuccessfully hides with her hand. Pardon me, I think I'm a little tired. I, I think we're all a little tired. My, how still are we tonight, His Hanako? We really should head to bed. We all have class tomorrow. Yeah, I should go. Thank you for your presence, Isao. Thanks. Will you come again? Not even a whole army could stop me. I'm impressed by your determination, Isao. Either way, you're right. We best get going. I stand up and make for the door. Hanako gingerly stands up behind me. I stop and face her. Are you coming with me? Hanako instantly blossoms into a full blush. No, I... not this room. Isn't... It's okay. I was only joking. Oh, okay. Good night. Good night, Hanako. Good night, Hisao. Night all. And with that, our tea party finishes. I'm still not sure what it is that Lily wants me to do for Hanako, but I don't want to let her down. I wait until the door has closed behind us before turning to Hanako. Hey Hanako, you don't have to be nervous around me or anything. I mean, we're friends, right? Right, we're friends. If you ever want to hang out or anything, just let me know. We still need to have that chess rematch, remember? Sure, but I don't think you'll win. It wouldn't be any fun if it was easy. Hanako seems to give a muted laugh, but she could have had just as easily been exhaling. Good night, Hisao. With that, Hanako quickly retreats into her room, located next to Lily's. I start to walk back to my dorm, but the simple fact of walking seems to drain me of my energy. I barely make it to my room before I'm hit by a wave of exhaustion. I kick off my shoes and into bed and fall asleep by the time my head hits the pillow. Hmm. Hopefully these acts are not. I mean, so we're in Hanako's realm. There's not many choices, unlike Lily's had a few more choices than she did. But hopefully it will go by quick, as we're still in Act Two. Anyways, we're gonna cut it off here. We're in about almost 30 minutes in. Next time on Let's Play Katawa Shoujo, we continue on with this bad ending route. Whoa. I wonder how this is gonna end. Oh, I am not looking forward to it, whatever the hell happens. But anyways, see you guys then.